a comfortable seat on block, bolster, ideally bolster or pillow, something squishy. And for the second time today, for many of you, relaxing in. And just a reminder about restorative yoga, that I like to think of it as nervous system yoga and unwinding that nervous system, slowing it down. And for many of us, that's very uncomfortable because we are used to having a revved up nervous system. So if you find yourself fidgeting or getting uncomfortable, just know that's expected and breathe. I also like to think of it as heart filling, resetting, restoring yoga. So honoring diastole with yoga, honoring that filling phase and refilling not only your heart, but any nook and cranny that needs attention. And so we move slowly, which for many of us feels different. And we breathe a lot. And so as you're moving through, just notice any resistance to moving slowly and unwinding, and breathe into it and allow it. And so we will come to our breath here on our mat, breathing in through your nose and out through your mouth. And the breath doesn't have to be a serious endeavor. You don't have to do 4-7-8s or 4-4-4-4s. But notice if you can make your exhale longer than your inhale, breathing in through your nose and out through your mouth. Using your breath to impact your physiology, both your nervous system and your heart physiology. Letting things slow down and fill. Gifting them time. Gifting them the experience of not rushing, the experience of moving slowly. And as you sit, bring a hand to heart and another hand to top. Adding into this nervous system care and heart care, compassion and kindness for all of you. Mind, body, and spirit care. Using your hands on your heart, hand on hand, hand on heart, to tend to your spirit. Having compassion for whatever your spirit may be navigating. Having compassion for any dullness to your sparkle right now. And perhaps inviting a little bit of that sparkle to come back out, scraping off some of the patina as we rest and restore and refill this evening. Noticing if there is some sparkle under your hands that would like to be seen. And letting go of any judgments about what other people might say about it and inviting it out for a play date or the monarch butterfly dates. Lots of monarch butterflies are coming to California, Central California especially. And thinking about it that way, is there anything in there that would like to let itself be seen? And as you sit, I wanted to share a reading from Janet Archer, who's one of my favorites. It's from this Invitation to Pause Again, which I share very often. And this one is called The Rush. There is no rush. I hear those words, but I don't quite believe them. I live as though there is a rush. I go to see my mom about every other day. I am usually rushing to get there. I add the trip onto something I was just doing or something that I will be doing after I visit with her. She is usually sandwiched in between because my belief is that it saves me time. Saves me time for what, I wonder? When I visit her, we sit or walk. There is no rush while I am there. I rush to get there, take a moment of no rushing when I am there, and then I rush away to something else. This is pretty much how my day looks. Rush, don't rush, rush, don't rush. And sometimes there is rush, rush, rush with no stopping for the no rush part. Then there is drop down, flat out exhaustion. Something I have been practicing saying to myself is, there is no better there than here. Driving in my car between here and there, believing that there is something better than being right here driving in my car while going there, I stop to remember, there is no better there than here. With that thought in mind, I begin to feel my hands on the steering wheel, hear the hum of the engine, relax my shoulders, my jaw, and my brain. When I am with my mom, I stop to remember, there is no better there than here. Thinking that drops me into a space of being present while I hold her hand, rub her back, sit there with her, words or no words, not thinking that something is better than this. Typing these words while sitting on my front porch, wanting the words to be done so I can move on to the next thing. I remember, there is no better there than here. That's when I begin feeling my fingers on the keyboard, the breeze on my skin, and the sound of the leaves in the trees. It's a practice. My mind wants to rush ahead. It wants me to believe that where I am is not the place to be. But when I stop to practice, there is no better there than here. I feel the weight of all the rushing begin to fall off my body, slide down my arms, flow out of my fingers, and I begin to slow down and arrive here. I promise you, there is no rush. We have all the time in the world to be here, when there is no thought brewing in our minds that where we are not is where we are supposed to be. And the invitation of gentle evening restorative yin yoga is that it's slow and to be here in this moment. Presence is this moment. Presence is where the joy is. It's where the noticing is. And so as we slow down and settle in, we are in the noticing. Taking a moment to notice your breath. Noticing your hand on hand, hand on heart, and how it feels. And when you feel ready, lowering your hands and opening your eyes, coming back together. And we are going to take out this bolster for a moment, leaving it near you. If you have a bolster or a big couch pillow will also work. And coming into either double pigeon or cow face pose, or some of you will be butterfly. So butterfly will be soles of the feet together, knees apart. If you're going to do double pigeon, you'll draw your knees as close together as you can draw them. Pick up your right ankle and place it atop your left. And if you want to do cow face pose, you're going to cross knees over knees and grab your ankles. And I invite you to pause for a minute and notice what feels the best to you, none of them being any better than any of the others. Finding the one that feels like a release to you. And when you've found it, drop back in, breathing in through your nose and out through your mouth. Sending the breath into the hips. Noticing the root of your spine connecting to the earth underneath you. Feeling safe and secure, that root chakra, attending to it, the base of the spine. Drawing your attention there, noticing it secure on the floor and on the earth, and sending that breath to the hips. Pouring it into your lungs, every nook and cranny. We'll be here for 4 more breaths, breathing in slowly and out slowly. Closing your eyes if that feels comfortable for you. And noticing wherever you are, if you'd like to have your palms up or down. What feels more connected, grounded, safe, secure, restful? Palms open with that idea of opportunity and possibility ahead, or palms down, feeling connected into the earth. Your mind begins to wander, come back to your breath. We'll slowly untangle and switch sides. You'll bring your knees together and your left ankle atop the right knee, or knee atop knee, or staying in butterfly pose if that's where you are. And this side may desire something different than the other side. Pausing to notice what you need and what your body would enjoy. What does it crave? Something we rarely pause to notice. So pause and notice and practice that. And when you arrive there, dropping in, closing your eyes once again, send the breath into that pericardial space, all into your upper chest, down into your belly. Envision the breath going all the way down to your belly button, that dantian spot. Your belly fills with the breath, expands, and then deflates on the exhale. Breathing in, filling your belly all the way down into your root. And exhale, let it out. Send the breath into the left hip in particular, into both if you're even-sided. And notice your palms once again. Do they land up or down? And is that where you'd like them to be? Open to possibility or connected, downward, rooted, safe, secure. Notice what your body needs, your spirit needs today. And when you feel complete on this side, untangle your legs and stretch them long in front of you. Move that flesh of the seat out of the way to connect into the earth to feel stable. And you'll put something atop your legs. It can be a bolster or a big couch pillow. Slide your hands down and release your head and neck towards the pillow. If you have a block, you can place it atop to put your head down on the block, but you don't have to. Coming into a lovely, luxurious forward fold. If your head is on the block or the pillow, notice the firmness and the connectedness there. And allow yourself to slow down again. No rush to get to the next pose. Just this pose. Just this moment to enjoy. Enjoy slowing down. And if you notice discomfort in slowing down, just notice it. Four more breaths here. Allowing the unraveling. Use the breath to unravel like a ball of yarn. Any tightness that you find in different spots. We'll slowly slide up the bolster and the block. We're going to come into a wide angle pose, and you'll put the bolster underneath. For those of you who happen to have blocks, you can take a block and slide it under the bolster and fold down that way. Or you can even do the block on the highest setting and lower your forehead onto the block there. The idea is to relax your back and have your forehead connect to something. Close your eyes and drop in once again. Enjoy the breath. Notice your sit bones, connect them into the earth. Notice the parts of your legs on the earth, your heels on the earth, and soften in. We'll be here for 4 more breaths. Invite a little more release. When you feel complete here, sliding up, take the bolster and the block out. And if it would feel good to your spine, slide your right arm down your right leg and reach that left arm up and over and enjoy your left side body. Enjoy that left hip rooting downward, breathing in through your nose and gazing upward over that left shoulder, breathing out. Again, once again, breathe in through your nose and out over your left shoulder. One more breath on this side. You can arch back a little farther if that left shoulder has room to drop back. Sliding up the left side, the right side, and sliding your hand down the left side. Reach that right arm over and sending some love and kindness and space into the top of the right hip, the right waist, the right lower lungs. Gazing over that right shoulder. Being kind to your neck, do no harm. Move with love rather than fear, rather than grit. Move with kindness and care. We are carers, and perhaps invite the idea of caring for yourself as well as you care for others. Coming back upright, you'll lower your hands down to the outer edges of your thighs and sweep them around. We're going to come into hands and knees and thread the needle. If you want to use a block for thread the needle, it's kind of lovely if you happen to have one. So you'll come to hands and knees, and you're going to raise your right hand up over your head, lowering it and threading it between your left hand and your left knee. If you would like to use the block, you drop your right ear onto the block, and it gives you a bit of a different stretch as you wiggle your left fingers farther forward. So you can try that and notice if you like it, or you can lower your ear to the floor, stretching that left arm all the way long and enjoying your armpits here, left armpit, and the stretch in the right shoulder. And when you've arrived, soften in and relax. We'll be here for about 10 breaths total.
enjoying and noticing how delicious slow feels, how delicious settling in feels. Bringing your left hand back alongside your face, you'll untangle and reach that right arm up with kindness to your back and shoulders. Roll your right wrist in either direction and lower it down. Take a moment to even your hips, your knees, and you'll raise that left arm up towards the sky. Exhale, thread it through the right hand and right knee. Lower the left ear to the block or the floor. Notice what feels the best to you. And you'll stretch your hands in opposite directions. The right hand is face down, the left hand face up. And enjoy your armpit, your waist, your shoulder. Breathing into it. Ten delicious, long, slow breaths of nourishment. Imagine bathing yourselves with breath. Bathing those tight spots with oxygen. Ready yourself to transition. Transitioning with ease and slowness. You'll lock that right hand back by your face into the right hand. Untangle and reach your hand towards the sky, being kind, untangling everything, coming back to hands and knees. We're going to lower down onto our belly here, coming into a prone Savasana, which most of us don't do. You use your hands as a pillow for your forehead and take a moment to get comfortable. Untuck your toes. Notice which hand feels best on top. Be connected. Slowing down. to child's pose. And for child's pose here, some of you will like a supported child's pose, and you can bring that bolster, if you have one, or a big pillow underneath you, hugging it into your belly. Some of you will love an unsupported child's pose, lying just on the earth. So if you have the bolster, you'll hug it all the way in, lower your forehead, and stretch your arms forward. You may even want to turn your gaze to the right or to the left. Pick one to start. And flip halfway through. And for anyone who enjoys the unsupported child's pose more, walking your fingers as far forward as you can, lower your forehead to the earth. And allow yourself to sink in here. As you're here, notice any pockets of tightness, and with intention, invite them to soften. If you're gazing to one side, turn your gaze to the opposite, unfamiliar side of your neck and soften in. We're going to set up for pigeon. Some of you will want the bolster, and if anyone has knee issues, you can roll onto your back and do a figure 4. And for anyone who is here this morning, I suggested putting one foot on the wall for the figure 4, and that can feel amazing. For anyone who wants to do pigeon, you can bring a bolster in towards you, or you can do it without a bolster. You're coming back up to hands and knees. You're going to bring your right knee up towards the bolster and bring your right knee out to the outer right corner of the mat and your right toes to the left corner of the mat. And slide your left leg back all the way towards the earth. And you'll hug that bolster in and drape yourself down with ease over it, gazing to one direction. If this hurts your knee, don't do it. You can readjust your heel either farther into your groin or farther out to the right corner of the mat. And if that doesn't fix it, then flip over to your back and do a figure 4. If you're doing a figure 4, your right ankle will be over your right knee, over your left knee, sorry. And if you want to put your left foot against the wall, that can feel delicious as well. Lots of right ankles. For those of you in pigeon, soften in. Inviting the slowness. Stepping out of the rush, or rush, don't rush. Really into slow. Inviting your nervous system to be on slow. Tending to that parasympathetic nervous system with breath and stillness. tending to your heart by letting it fill fully, giving it time to fill. And tending to your mind with breath and even pressure. If your forehead is flat to the earth, it doesn't have to be here. If you're gazing to one side, gaze to the opposite side and relax back in. Closing your eyes to quiet the mind. And while you might feel like you're not doing anything, there's a lot of science here to show that this is one of the most underutilized stress management and anxiety reduction tools, restorative and yin yoga. So appreciate yourself for showing up and practicing, decreasing stress, treating your DNA, your cells, your nervous system to lots of delicious neurochemicals, changing the ingredients and amounts in the recipe. 4 more breaths here on this side. Notice if you want to adjust anything as you've been here a bit, being kind to your left knee, left foot, right knee, right hip. Tiny little micro movements can create a big shift here as well. We'll slowly bring our hands down by our sides. Lift your torso up, reach the crown of your head to the sky, and enjoy the front of the hips as well for a moment here before you switch sides. You can even lift up onto your fists and stretch that left hip flexor a wee bit. And when you're ready, you'll slowly untangle that right leg, coming back to hands and knees, and perhaps pressing into a downward dog to even out your hips, lowering your forehead. If your bolster is still there, you can lower your head down to the bolster in the downward dog, enjoying a little more pressure on that third eye and the forehead, helping to quiet the mind. And when you feel complete, we'll switch to the other side. You'll bring your left knee to the left outer edge of the mat, the left foot to the right outer edge of the mat. Untuck the back toes and slide them all the way back, hugging the bolster in towards you and draping yourself over. If you want to not use the bolster, also lovely and delightful. Being kind to your knee. If your knee is cranky, readjust your heel, the foot position, and if that doesn't work, please flip over onto your back. Yoga is about doing no harm, being kind and compassionate, and caring, taking care of you so you can care for others, caring for your nervous system, which can't be cared for if you're in pain, caring for your heart, caring for your spirit, and caring for your mind. Allowing yourself to soak into the deliciousness of this pose. Noticing the longer you're here, the more release you can enjoy. If your head is turned to one side, turn it to the other side, being kind to your neck, taking care. And adjusting your foot, heel, knee, whatever needs to be adjusted. We'll be here 4 more breaths. Sending it back to any pocket in that hip that still needs a little attention. And if your knee's unhappy, readjust. You may notice a new layer of release the longer you're here, inviting it in. And when you feel complete, and place your hands back close to that left knee and right under your right shoulder, lifting all the way up. Reach the crown of your head to the sky. Let your heart shine forward. Let your hips fall forward and stretch the front of your belly. Enjoying the stretch for a moment. And then you'll roll onto that left hip. Stretch your legs out in front of you. You can take your bolster atop your legs if you wish, and enjoy a forward fold to even out your hips. Dropping your head towards the bolster or towards your knees. If you don't have a bolster nearby, it's not essential. And we'll slowly transition to our backs. Have a block nearby or a bolster. Either one is fine. Whatever you will wish for a supported bridge. So you'll roll down to the earth to begin. Bend your knees to start. And allow yourself to soften into your mat. Noticing the back of your body on the earth now. Noticing the soles of the feet, the palms, your sacrum, the parts of your arm that are touching the earth. Noticing the parts of the scapula that are touching the earth, the parts of the shoulders that are touching the earth, and your occiput. Enjoying it. 3 cleansing breaths here with knees bent. You'll bring your right knee into your chest, bringing your hands to your shin, hugging it in all the way into your belly. Huge inhale. And exhale, allow it to drop into the right hip socket, hugging it in a little tighter. Extend your left leg if you have room to do that. And enjoy the front of that left hip. You'll switch your hands to the back of the right thigh over the hamstring and extend your foot towards the sky. Press your hand into your hamstring and the heel towards the sky, toes towards your nose. And breathe. Point your toe to the sky. And flex your toe towards your nose, flossing the nerve. Point your toe to the sky. Enjoy your shin. No rush. Enjoy each and every sensation here as you flex your toes towards your knee and your nose. Slowly bend your right knee and release your hands, lower your foot to the floor. And bend your left leg into your chest. Hug it in tight as you can. Exhale, let it fall into the socket. Extend your right leg long. Enjoy the front of the right hip. You'll bring your hands to the back of the hamstring and raise your leg towards the sky. Point your toes towards your nose, flexing your ankle. Point your toe. Enjoy the sensations in the shins and the backs of the legs. Toes slowly shift towards your nose. And slowly reach towards the sky. Flex your ankle one last time. Fully enjoy all the sensations as you press your hamstring gently into your hands. Bend your knee. Release your hands from your hamstring and stretch your leg long, taking a moment to notice how you feel. Reach your arms long above you. Your right thumb and middle finger will grasp your left wrist and you'll stretch tall, 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 and your toes will reach long in front. Walk your toes to the right side, front corner of the mat. You'll reach your left ankle and place it atop the right ankle. And tugging that left hand to the right, coming into a banana or a crescent moon since it's nighttime. And enjoying your left side body here. Couple big deep breaths in this crescent moon. Last one. Bathing every nook and cranny of that left side. Bringing your hands back to center and your feet uncross them. Walk them all the way to the left side. Right ankle will land atop the left. You'll switch the clasp of your hands. Left thumb and middle finger grab the right wrist and tug to the left. And enjoy this crescent moon. Enjoying every nook and cranny of the right side body here. Coming back to the breath. Uncrossing your legs, bring your feet back to center, hands back to center. You're going to lower your hands down by your sides and grab the block or the bolster. Bend your knees, bringing your heels towards your rear end, and you'll lift your hips up and slide the block underneath, coming into a supported bridge or the bolster. Keep the block on the medium or lowest setting. More is not better. And land your sacrum flat on the block here. And allow yourself once again to settle in. Softening, let your nervous system melt. Enjoying the blood flow pouring back in towards you. Refilling your heart space here. You're on the medium setting, lower your block to the lowest setting. If you're on a bolster, you can hang out there. And stretch one leg long and the other leg long, enjoying your psoas here. If your back doesn't like this, don't do it. Everyone's back is different. As you bring your feet back one at a time, and you'll raise one leg up to tabletop and the other up to tabletop, and one leg to the sky and the other to the sky. It's like feet up the wall, but with no wall. Letting the blood flow pour back in towards your head and your heart. 3 more breaths here. Let them be long, full, and nourishing, both the inhale and the exhale. Slowly bend one knee, lower your foot to the earth, bend the other knee, and lower your foot to the earth. And stay here in bridge pose for 3 breaths. Sending the breath and the softening to your hip flexors with intention. Thanking them for your support and allowing them to slow down. Slowly lift your hips up off the block and slide it out beside you. And lowering your spine down, unrolling like pearls on a string until your sacrum hits the earth. And allow yourself to arrive. Hug your knees into your chest and have a little rock. Massage your sacrum. If it's fun, come into happy baby pose, noticing if your back enjoys that. Bring the soles of your feet together, knees apart. Hug your heels towards you and enjoy the release. You'll lower your feet to the floor, coming into reclining butterfly or Supta Baddha Konasana. You can take those blocks and place them under your knees if you happen to have them nearby, not needed. But support yourself well here. Don't overstretch your inner thighs. And you'll bring a hand to heart and a hand to belly. If this feels too much on your inner thighs, walk your feet forward, have a bigger diamond shape. And take a moment here to be in no rush. To listen, to enjoy. Integrate the relaxation into every nook and cranny. When you feel complete, we will come into Savasana. You'll bring your hands to the outer edges of your thighs, draw your knees together and stretch your legs long. For those of you who have a bolster nearby, tuck it under your knees because it feels amazing. And you can. And give yourself time to settle in. If you don't have a bolster, no worries. Allow yourself to relax into the earth. Let your toes fall towards the outer edge of the mat. Palms down towards the earth about 6 inches from your waist. And come back to your breath. Notice your chest rise and fall. And let go of control of the breath. Let the earth hold you. And relax in.
Gently begin to wiggle your fingers and your toes. And slowly, without rush, begin to deepen your breath. Taking your time. Noticing how you feel. And if you wish, take a stretch in whatever way feels good to you. Perhaps arms long above, toes long in front. Drawing your knees into your chest and roll over to one side. Pause for a moment, taking the time to transition well, slowly. No rush, rush, rush. No rush at all. Pausing, enjoying the presence. The joy is found in presence, no matter what you're doing. And moving slowly, honoring how your nervous system feels, how your heart feels, how your mind feels, slowly pressing up to a comfortable seat where we began. And when you arrive, bring a hand to heart and another hand to top. Hand on hand, hand on heart. Taking a moment to appreciate yourself for taking some time to nourish your nervous system, your heart, your spirit, and your mind. Sending yourself love and kindness. Sending everyone here, practicing together, love and kindness. And sending out love, kindness, and slowness to the world. May you all be well. May you all be loved. May you all feel safe. And may you all enjoy a week without rush, with much presence and associated joy. The light in me honors and reflects the light in each and every one of you. Have a beautiful week ahead. Namaste.